Hey everybody, Slay here. Gonna be taking out the F-94D Starfire. This thing is just a absolute nightmare to anybody facing it. This is the Tier 9 American Multirole, and it comes equipped with a 20 mil Vulcan cannon and the rockets that are,
Pilots,
I think
get
they're
ready
called
for action.
FFARs.
Let's go.
Don't know what that stands for. I'd have to do a little bit of research to figure that one out. Anyways, they are 400 damage apiece. And they're definitely stronger than the R4M, the German counterparts, the other air-to-air rockets at this tier. But as you just saw me shooting there, that's the absolute gem of this plane. It's the gun. So the gun itself, yeah, it overheats fairly fast, but you know it cools down fairly quick too. But as you see here, you don't need a lot of time on target to just do some damage. This is arguably the most modern gun in World of Warplanes right now. And it's actually funny because you go from this gun at tier 9 to 4, 20s at tier 10 in the F7U, and those 20s, I would take this Vulcan any day. I'd give up any gun that's on any of my planes, and I would take this Vulcan. Because it is just that strong. It fires like a laser beam. It sounds amazing. There's nothing quite like that bird, that's coming down. And man, this gun is just so good. So just took that airfield, which is much needed. Much like any of the other planes that I play, this thing does not have a lot of turn. So you have to kind of play it as you would a heavy, where it's kind of like a velocity fighter. Kill the things that have their back to you, go for the weak targets. Don't get in turn fights with anything, you will lose. I think I kind of demonstrate that a couple times in this map. Generally you can survive a head-on, but don't go head-on with a heavy. The results never end up in your favor. And I don't use them that much, but don't forget that you have 24 rockets that are just absolutely badass on your plane. So, look at the speed though on this thing. We're just cruising at 850. A little bit of boost there. There's that gun right there in the nose again. So this plane is just really good at moving around the map and just taking out targets, especially GA. But it can go up and kill bombers. Kills fighters, if you catch them. It's just not a bad plane by any means. I did not play the F2G. I skipped the F2G to go straight for this thing. And then I played this thing enough that I unlocked the F7U. And again, the tier 10 is worth grinding out for. It is arguably the most mediocre tier 10 to me, other than the BVP 215. It's just painfully average. So right here you see I miss with my guns. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line up and use those rockets. I launch all my volleys of rockets there, but I did not need to do that. I'm pretty sure I could have just ended him with like 2 of those rockets at 400 damage apiece. But as you see, this thing is just amazing at cleaning up GA. This is the strongest HP tier 9 right here, the IL-40, and make a really quick work of it. But if you'll notice, one thing I'm doing there, I'm firing in medium burst with this plane. Again, this gun overheats so super fast, so you have to get used to just holding the trigger down for about 1 to 2 seconds, and then letting go, let it cool down. And here I'm trying to help Desert. He's being chased by a 228. I think the 228's on him, and yeah, wish I had my rockets there. It ain't a video for me if I'm not ramming something or hitting, the side of a mountain, so just keeping with tradition there. I already picked up a hefty score though. 6,000, not even that far in, 4 minutes in, so not bad, not bad. I believe the enemy team has a goblin, if I remember correctly. This position I'm in, pretty much this whole game, is kind of the strongest part of this plane. It plays an amazing support role. Again, if something's not focused on you, they're gonna die. That's just the sad truth of it. Start getting, you know, kind of bad FPS drops here. I believe I went down to as low as like 60 on this map. You'll notice something I'm doing too there. I'm kind of spraying around just because I'm trying to deal with that FPS. And yeah, when something's at like 10 HP, there's nothing more frustrating than, you know, trying to aim at him and watch him walk away with, you know, next to nothing HP. So this is where I get in kind of a turn fight with this goblin. If I didn't have that plane that just came in and killed him, that MiG-9, yeah, I probably would end up dying there just because this plane cannot turn.
Way to go.
It's got something like a 12 or 13 second turn. I think it's more like 13. It is very, very terrible. So when you compare it to, you know, some of the other things, like the Tier 9 German Multirole, on the other hand, is an absolute beast. Has rockets. It's got 420s, but it turns really, really, really well. But again, you don't play this plane for its capability of turning. You don't play it for its rockets, even though the rockets are amazing. You play this plane because it has the best gun. Arguably the best gun in the game. So here I am climbing up to this 228 pretty damn easy. I think that's the same 228 that killed me earlier, so I want to rip his face off. I don't use my rockets enough. After watching a lot of my videos with planes that, you know, have rockets, have bombs, have ordnance, especially multiroles, I am not utilizing that enough. That's something I have to consciously go back and I'm gonna have to teach myself, you know, just like I kind of taught myself, don't hold down the trigger so much, or, you know, in most cases, don't hold down the boost key so much. I'm gonna have to teach myself to go back and start using my ordnance more. But anyways, was able to pick up an easy wing ledge in there. Hopefully you guys just see how amazing this plane is. The gun is ridiculous at it. Would have been worse if I would have killed bombers, but I decided to not kill bombers because of some criticism that I had received about bomber flights and whatnot. I still very strongly feel that if you're in a heavy, albeit this thing is not a heavy, but if you are in a heavy and there is a command center, it is your job, I'm sorry, it's your job as a heavy to neutralize that command center. If you're in a position to take the command center outright, cool. If you're in a position to kill bomber flights and prevent your command center being killed, even better. That just kind of works out for everybody. But anyways, picked up 13k XP, 4x2, 127k credits, so not bad. One token, that was my first wing ledge in that day. 8,000 air damage, which is pretty sick considering I wasn't even killing bomber flights. Yeah, kind of dwarfed the other scores in the game. And back to this plane. So as I was saying, these things are 400 damage and 30 damage radius. So let's take a look at the BVP, the R4Ms. You're looking at 150 and 25. So you get more damage radius and another 250 damage. That's insane. The rockets are double the damage, and they, you know, explode with a bigger radius. Then you got that Vulcan, 800 DPS, 3,000 rate of fire. I believe in real life this gun was something like 6,000 rate of fire. But either way, just an absolute nasty plane. I can't recommend it enough. I would go back and grind this line again just to get this plane again if I had a chance. But yeah, if you guys will leave it in the comment, if you have the F94D, what's your opinion of it? What's your opinion of people using it against you? What have you seen? You see me changing some of my equipment load out there. So what equipment do you run with this thing? I don't fly this plane enough. It is one of my favorite planes, but I need to fly it more. That's for damn sure. But anyways, thanks guys for watching. Again, that was the F94D, and I hope this video helps you out in some way. Take care. Have a good night.